Yeah, if you take your own notes, you retain it better. This is true. We
Yeah.
might be talking about the decline of human cognition today.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's happening. We have smartphones and stupid people.
Oops, that is me on my YouTube. There you go. I'm like, why am I hearing Derek twice? Okay, the YouTube, brilliant. Wow, this thing even sends me DMs. Y'all, all your note takers are sending me DMs. Oh, it's so funny. I don't know about all of you guys, but I get I like my phone notifications. I have to have only the very, very like minimal notifications because my mind, my brain, my psychology,
Yeah,
I cannot stand seeing that little red thing, right?
me too. I
Derek,
have to go in there, I have to check it, I have to remove it if it's like, so that's why I turn off almost all my notifications on my phone.
yeah. You ever seen people with those phones where it's like, I'm just putting on do not disturb. They have like 11,343 unread emails, and every time they open their
I
phone,
married one of those people, Mari. I married one of those people.
I'm like, how can your brain even
And
function?
if that's all she had was 11,000, I would breathe a sigh of relief.
Okay,
Yes.
I am going to stand up and change the ISO of my camera because I can't stand it.
How's everybody doing here? I'd love you to post in the chat why you're here, why on earth you would want to show up here, other than just for the wonderful, beautiful Mari and her accent. I could just listen to her read the phone book every day. And
Yeah, feel free to pop in the chat. Oh, just because it's me. No, you're interested in Derek as well.
that's the only reason I showed up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, welcome. And we can be fairly informal. And yeah, okay, that's a little better. I
So the
turned it
first
down.
question, we know what it is, boxers or briefs.
Oh, boxer yeah. What do you mean?
That's the one you're going to ask me, right? You said you wanted to get informal and
Oh, I
vulnerable with
see, I
me.
see, I see. Oh, my, it's so funny how the mind works because my mind immediately went, oh shit, did I just show my bottom half when I stood up? You're cracking me up.
And we're off to the races.
Well, you know how it
Hey,
goes.
hey, it's
Zoom.
called a whole new human. It's about being human, Mari,
It
right?
totally is.
That's what this is about.
You can't get more authentic. No, I do have sweatpants on the bottom and
That's right.
slippers, but
Me too.
party on the top, casual down below, right?
That's right.
All
That's right.
right, so let's officially start, my beautiful friends. I'm going to read just a wee bit of Derek's bio. As I mentioned, those of you who came in through my email list.
From now on, every time I do an interview, I want somebody to say, I want somebody to say, I'm going to weave in a wee bit of Derek's bio. Every time now. That's got to happen to be the opening.
Don't make me blush even more with this niacin flush thing going on. Oh, that's cute. But yeah, anyway, so what was going to say, Derek, so you and I think we first probably crossed paths through the Association of Transformational Leaders. It's
Yeah.
an offshoot of Jack Canfield's mastermind called the Transformational Leadership Council.
Yes.
As a member of TLC for many, many years, and then also I was one of the founding members of the Association of Transformational Leaders Southern California chapter.
Yeah.
That was in 2011. Were you there back in those days?
I
Or
think
thereabout, right?
it was probably 2013, 2014
Yeah,
when I
couple years
finally
ago.
came on board.
Yeah, 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 beautiful.
It
And
was
then
a
we have
decade, over a decade ago.
yeah, and we have many, many mutual friends as well.
Yeah. Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, so here's the wee bit of your bio. So I actually have a teleprompter, but I didn't hook it up because it makes my whole screen smaller. But anyway, Derek Rydall, obviously you say Rydall, don't you?
Rydell, like
Rydell.
Rydell High from Greece
Rydell,
or
I know, but
Bobby.
it's an A. It should be Rydall.
I know. Talk to my dad.
That's just my accent. Okay. Derek Rydell is a best-selling author, a prominent life coach, and even a consultant for Emmy and Academy Award winners, Fortune 500 executives, and leaders in business, spirituality, and the healing arts. He's done it all. He's an active speaker, bringing his unique brand of inspiration to audiences around the world, and he writes for Huffington Post, Spirituality Health, among others. And so, what we're going to be doing, that Derek, this is not your first rodeo. You have many books. You're already a best-selling author, and then I'm going to be really curious to understand, like, what was it that how this book came about, this the brand new book, A Whole New Human, with
Yes.
these 10 ways we must evolve to survive and thrive in the AI age. Yay! It's in his hands. It officially comes out February 24th.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Okay, just a few days from now. So, but before we go down discovering more about your book and why you wrote it, tell us just a wee bit more about your journey. I know you had an NDE, all the amazing aspects. If you
Yeah.
want to
Well,
summary of that.
there's quite, yeah, it's been quite a journey. I mean, it's hard to know where to start, but I'll start just to give the basic backdrop. For a lot of years, I was struggling like a lot of people to improve and fix and heal myself that was probably in my 20s. And after probably a decade of trying to fix, change, heal, and improve myself, the only thing I'd improved was my ability to describe why my life was so screwed up. I got very articulate about why everything wasn't working. When I was 10 and my dad saw my report card and it was all A's and one B, and he said, "What's with the B, son?"
Oh,
And so I could describe why I was a neurotic mess and things weren't working, but I was struggling. I was more frustrated. So all this self-improvement wasn't improving me actually. It actually drove me to drink.
wow.
And I became addicted to drugs and alcohol, and then I almost died from an overdose.
Mm,
And then after that, I had another experience where I thought things were going better. I thought I'd hit rock bottom, and it turned out I hadn't yet. And I was doing a film in Jamaica as an actor, and everything was falling apart in my life again, and everything was falling apart on the set. And I prayed to get lost from it all, and I went diving in a coral reef, and I promptly got lost in the coral reef
wow.
and trapped underwater in what was like an booby trap tomb out of an Indiana Jones movie. Giant spiked coral, fire coral everywhere. I couldn't touch the walls. I didn't know how to get out. I didn't know where I was. Nobody knew I was there. It was getting dark. And to make a long story short, there was a moment where I knew I wasn't going to make it.
Mm,
And I was running out of air, and I was running out of time, um, and I was paddling like this in the water because I couldn't go down or I would have been skewered by these giant spikes. Couldn't lift my head out of the water to see where I was or I would have been skewered. And so I was just pretty in a bad way. And there was a moment I tried to, negotiate with God. I was like, please, God, I promise I'll go to church on Sunday if you get me out of this. God was not playing let's make a deal. And finally, there was a moment where all I could do was surrender.
mm,
And it's hard to know unless you've been there. It wasn't like I hope I get out. Well, how am I going to, it was I'm done. That's it. And also that surrender was a complete release. And
mm,
in that moment, there was a flash of light, like a, and I still get choked up when I recall it.
mm.
And in that light, I saw the self that I've been trying to fix, change, heal, and improve. And he was a fictional character. He was an amalgamation of parental fantasies and peer pressure and societal conditioning, and nothing I could ever do would fix him, would make him enough. But in the midst of that, there was another self, and this self had never been damaged or diminished, and so this self didn't need to be fixed or healed, and
Mm,
this self was already whole and complete, and so this self couldn't be improved upon. Literally, self-improvement was an oxymoron. Now,
mm,
again, I didn't have all the words for this at the moment. It was just like, and then in the next moment, I was standing outside of the coral reef on top of one piece of coral that was protruding out of the water. And I'm still not sure exactly how I got there, but I was standing now. I had somehow gotten out of the coral reef, outside of the water, standing on this one. And I was looking into the coral where I had been stuck, and the exit was behind me the whole time. I just couldn't see it. And this coral reef was like a metaphor for my life that I'd been swimming through a maze for many years, gasping for air, following brightly colored, shiny colored objects. And in that moment, something shifted. Humpty Dumpty fell off the wall, and I was able to jump over and swim out. But the guy that swam in wasn't the guy that swam out. And I ended up joining a monastery, trying to become a monk. And that didn't work out too well. About a couple weeks into fasting and silence, I broke into the monk's kitchen in the middle of the night and stole food out of their sub-zero refrigerator. and went back to my room. I was just eating whatever I could get my hands on, probably bird food. And I went back to my little cell and got violently ill and had my first out of body experience.
Mm,
So I promptly packed up and ran out of the monastery and cloistered myself in North Hollywood and kind of went on a multi-year journey to understand what the heck was going on with me, these insights and this expansion. So that's how everything started,
mm,
and that led to the law of emergence and the book and the teaching, which was basically the idea that we've already got a perfect pattern within us, like every seed in nature. And we don't
mm,
have to go out and make it happen. We have to make it welcome. We
mm,
have to become aligned with what is already in us. Just like the acorn is not an inadequate oak tree, it's a perfect acorn. It doesn't achieve an oak, it doesn't attract an oak, it doesn't improve itself into an oak. The oak is already there in the field, it's there in
mhm,
its pattern. And when
mhm,
the conditions are congruent or coherent with pattern, it emerges. And that's true
mm,
for everything. So
mm.
that was really where I started. That doesn't yet get to where this comes from, although the very root of this is the same idea of emergence, but we can certainly get there.
Yeah.
Get there.
Oh my gosh. There's so much I could just unpack and everything you just shared for the last few minutes. I definitely want to get to your book and these wonderful 10
Well, I will
ways
share
that you
also
have.
real quick, Maria, a very
Yes.
practical thing is I was broke. I was broken. I was literally suicidal
Wow.
before all of this happened.
Mm,
This break, this near death opening and all of that.
yeah.
And within a year after that, I had launched my life's work. I was making a lot of money. I was in love. Which with someone I found eventually married. Like everything that I've been striving and struggling for, most of my striving and struggling was the very resistance that was blocking it. Again, trying to make it happen instead of make it welcome.
Mm,
And when that flipped, when I was able to just stop and just get in alignment with that, everything that I've been trying to strive for, struggle for, began to unfold naturally and very quickly. Like I
mm.
had a bunch in my trust account.
Yeah, yeah. I love that. Oh, one thing that pops in my mind to just underscore for me through the human design lens, which, I've passionately studied now in my 6th year, and we've had conversations about
Yes.
human design. And I was listening to some of the videos on your YouTube and getting prepared for this interview. And then with your book, it's like this one of the consistent premises that you talk about is how critical it is to know yourself.
Yes.
And when you really truly know yourself, not the controlled, conditioned, manipulated by algorithms or other people, we call it conditioning in human
Yes.
design. And that's an aspect of what really can give you that edge. The part that you said in the story of your diving in the struggle and meeting death, and you realized, wait a minute, the person that I've been trying to improve, you said it's a fictional version of yourself.
Yes. Yes.
And, the founder of the human design system, he had done thousands upon thousands of readings. And in the end, he was like, that's it. I am just going to focus on teaching teachers and, putting my work out there. I can't do another reading because he was so discouraged at the incredible malaise on the planet. Oh, this chokes me up. Where he
Mm,
realized that people were going anywhere from mild dislike all the way up to extreme self loathing. He's like, the cosmic joke is they're loathing, they're disliking, they're hating the wrong person. They're hating the not self, the
exactly.
shadow self. It's like who you are at the core, that brilliant genetic imprint of you is, like you say, just allow it to emerge, allow it to be, allow it to come
Yes.
forward. So,
And
yeah.
even also, the trick of it all is if you can actually find a way to befriend all the parts you hate and ultimately even love them, listen to
Yeah.
them, to hear them, to hold them, you will heal them. And you will
Mm,
discover, as Jesus said, love your enemy, and the enemy is in your own household.
mm,
And, or Rumi, who said, in the great poem, The Guest House, fear or sadness or grief will show up at your door. Invite them in, make them a cup of tea. You
mm,
don't know what gifts they're bringing. And so all of those parts are actually, even the parts that we think are the false self, when you meet them with love and listening and compassion and curiosity, you actually discover hidden gems and gold and parts of the real self
Mm,
that you had just been seeing through a glass darkly, that you had just been
mm,
seeing through filters. Because
mm.
they're really are we're not like a piece of furniture from IKEA where there's a bunch of extra parts, right?
Right.
Which you find out 3 weeks later when the desk falls on your foot, that wasn't extra, right? So it's important that if you meet everything with love, it transmutes, and if it's not real, it dissolves, and if it's real, it reveals.
Beautifully stated. Yeah. Well, let's talk about AI and what is
Speaking
it?
of love, let's talk about AI.
Can
Let's
Hey,
let's
yeah, what are you going to say?
let's upgrade our hardware.
Hardware. I love that. That's one of your premises.
Yeah.
Gary Vaynerchuk, longtime industry friend of mine, a beloved and a reverent social media marketing expert and thought leader, and he talks about how for the younger generation, maybe Gen Zs, he's like, there's going to come a time, mark my words, where your children are going to marry an AI.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay. But before
That
we
might be a new update for Look Who's Coming to Dinner.
let,
And the person brings home their AI bride or
I
something, anyways.
wonder if there'll still be the old fashioned, like where the groom has to ask for the dad's permission.
The AI has to ask ChatGPT for permission.
Oh God, we're laughing, but it's kind of no laughing matter. But let's bring in AI in terms of
Sure.
Derek, like what is it before we go really into your book and these 10 ways, 10 ways for us to really evolve and thrive. Yay! Is that what is it like? Well, I'm curious, like your own experience of AI, like when did you kind of start really getting
Yeah,
involved in maybe some use cases? And then
absolutely.
thirdly, like how did this idea for the book pop up?
Well, absolutely. I mean, when I was a kid, I was first of all, I was a computer nerd as a kid. I could take anything apart, put anything back together again. I was the kid everybody asked to fix their VHS or VCRs or whatever was electronic or digital, I could fix. And then I saw War Games. That dates me a bit, but I was a kid. And Matthew Broderick hacks the United States government, starts global thermonuclear war with an AI. Somehow I thought that was awesome. And so I went home and decided to build a program that simulates hacking into the government and, kids. And, uh, and it was incredibly realistic and it freaked my mom out, impressed my friends. But so I was very into programming as a kid. And then as I grew up, I got a little bit older. I got really interested in the brain, so the computer between the ears. And I was a scholarship kid in high school, and I was going to go to college and be a neuroscientist.
Mm,
And then in high school, near the end of high school, I got very interested in the mind and in acting and in performance, and I became an artist. I mean, I was always an artist, but I really bloomed into an artist. And then I went off to do movies, and then I had a near-death experience, and then the veil parted, and then I joined a monastery. And so I went from the computer out here to the computer in here to the
mm,
mind and the heart and this inner world of creativity and romance to something beyond all of these outer, the software, the hardware, the wetware, to pure consciousness and the very source of intelligence. And so I had this kind of journey, and then it began to recursively go back the other direction. And that's what happened about six years ago. I was meditating and a vision dropped in and it said, build the ark, a flood is coming. And I'm like, and it showed me everything. This was before ChatGPT. This is before AI was in the mainstream. Obviously, it's been in the laboratories, but it showed me the vision of what was coming. It showed me how that this was going to be one of, if not the greatest existential crisis and opportunity for
mm,
humanity, is certainly in modern history. And it
mm,
showed me everything that was going to unfold. And so far, everything it showed me has, including all the breakthroughs and all the things. And there's much more to come. Yeah, but it's happened faster than it showed me, and it's faster than any expert has imagined. But when that vision said, build the ark, the flood is coming, I didn't think I was going to need to go to Home Depot and get a bunch of lumber and start planning the blueprints for the ark. But it was very clear it was about we were going to be in danger of outsourcing our humanity, first of all.
Mm, mm,
We've already done a lot of that. If you read the book and you'll see what we've done historically, with every new outer technology, we give a little piece of our humanity away and a little bit of our capacity. And and this was just a revolution of a whole different order, what's happening with AI and what it's going to potentially do. So, and again, I won't go all out right now. You can ask me specific questions, but
mm,
basically it showed me, and it was so urgent. And there
mm,
was only one other time in my life where I had what I can only say was a prophetic frequency or vision, because it didn't feel like inspiration in the same sense. It was this deep, like this energetic of the feeling of it. And I only have it one other time, and that was a couple years earlier when I got this sense something really big, bad, global was going to happen. It was going to change the planet, and we may never fully recover from it. And then I told people, stay close to your family, something's going to happen. And then COVID hit. People
mm,
thought I was kind of weird, a little chicken little. It's not me to be like a catastrophizer,
mhm,
but it was like this feeling I could not deny. And the
mm,
same feeling came with the AI vision,
mm.
and it would make the vision basically showed that it would make COVID look like a sneeze in the wind, compare by comparison.
Wow.
I'm not
Wow.
anti-tech, to be very clear. I'm not a
Yeah.
Luddite. I love the technology. I just love humanity more. And
Yes. Yes.
and I
Yes.
love our inner technology. And we need to remember
Mm,
we are the original super intelligence.
mhm,
We are the killer app the world is waiting for. And throughout all of history, humans have always done this. We project our super intelligence, our capacity out into the world, and we build some prosthetic of consciousness. We
mhm,
build the Tower of Babel. We build, all the scientific movement. It's not bad. It's just we don't realize we're building external expressions of internal capacities.
mhm,
That there were nomads and mystics wandering the desert and the jungle, tapping into the atomic theory and string theory and quantum theory and all these things long before there was a telescope or a microscope.
mm,
And that's documented. So we have these capacities, and then we build external prosthetics. Just
mhm,
like, just as an interesting aside, we don't have eyes. We don't see because we have eyes. We
mhm,
have eyes because seeing is already a capacity of consciousness. So evolution built the technology called eyes so that we could see into this domain. And
mhm,
the same thing with hearing. And that's why we now know that outside here, there's not like a bunch of things. There's not like a bunch of people and colors and dimensions and depth. There's just quantum wave fluctuations. But the eyes and the ears and the brain stem and all these things are interpreting that and building a model of reality.
mhm, mhm.
And so we're like the original large language model. We are the original AI,
Yeah.
ancient intelligence, ancestral intelligence, authentic
Yeah.
intelligence,
Yeah.
maybe even angelic intelligence.
Oh, I love it. That's awesome, Derek. Oh my gosh, so cool. Wow. Okay, so now you have really embraced one of the things you were talking about. I was letting people know when I was, getting the word out about this conversation today is that AI is not to be feared. It's something
Right.
that we can really partner with. And
Yes.
so long as we are retaining our own agency, our own autonomy, our own, in human design, we talk about inner authority, right? You're
Yes.
trusting your own body's wisdom when you feel that, oh, this isn't for me, but then
Yes.
the mind's going, yeah, but, oh, you could make a lot of money or whatever the crap that the mind tells us,
Yes.
This is like just being in alignment with what's true for you. Um, from here, Derek, would you like to introduce us to the 10 ways or would you like to go through them?
Well, I can
And
talk about some of the most important ones for
let's
sure.
do
And
that.
and to be very clear, this is not, again, this is not a Unabomber manifesto. This is not an I'm not a Luddite. I'm very pro tech. It's about, we have to we have to reorganize and reprioritize, like you started off in the beginning about the know yourself piece.
Yes.
And that was the original OG self-help guru, the Oracle of Delphi.
Yeah.
who was a woman, by the way.
I love that
People,
you said that.
right?
Yes.
And it wasn't a positive thinking affirmation. It was a warning.
Ooh.
And she was issuing a warning. She was saying, know yourself or else.
Mm,
Or else
mm,
what? Or else
mm.
somebody or something is going to know you better. And when someone
Yeah.
knows you better than you, guess who's using who, right?
Yeah.
Who's
Yeah.
zooming who here?
Right.
And already the algorithms and everything. So knowing ourselves is the step one of everything else. And
Yeah.
really it boils down into two things. Know yourself, be yourself.
Yes.
To thine
Yes.
own
Yes.
self be true. Know yourself,
Mm,
be yourself. That's like the wax on, wax off of ultimate human mastery. Know
totally.
yourself, be yourself.
Mm,
It's also the hardest thing because we're
mm,
conditioned from birth. Don't look within, don't get to know you,
mm,
don't be you. Do it like mommy, do it like daddy, do it like school, do it so you get a job, do it so we like
mm,
you, do it so you don't get kicked out of the group. And we get conditioned, our minds get colonized, and we, as we already said, so we have to get back. Why is that so important? Because AI, everything you're conditioned to be is something that isn't you and is something that is already status quo. It's
mm,
something that the world has said we must be, do, or not do or be in order to be loved, safe, supported, secure. That
mhm,
means it's already the base code in the algorithm. And so that means AI is going to be able to do everything a human can do better, faster, cheaper. Everything that is bottom line and base code of all humanity, AI is going to do. So if you're trying to do anything except your original source code, you are replaceable and you will become obsolete.
mm,
And it's the stated mission of the hyperscalers, replace all human labor. But
mhm,
what does that mean? It
mhm,
means replace everything a human can do in every dimension of work, which really means the thinking, the creating, the connecting, the processing, the producing, all these things. It's really a complete replacement of what makes us useful and valuable and all that. But there is one thing that cannot be replaced, and that is our unique life code, our embodied wisdom, our lived experience. We all came here, even though there's a bunch of acorns and they all become oak trees, not every single one of them, not a single one of them is the same.
mhm,
And so we have a very unique pattern. And even though it has universal elements, the way it expresses through us, like the oak, through the weather and the wind and the erosion and all these things, it becomes this work of art that only it can be. And that's why people gather under it and take pictures of it. And that's who each and every one of us are. And that's what I call the handcrafted humanity and the bespoke humanity, and really the beginning of what could be a new renaissance for humanity.
mm.
If we first know ourselves
Yeah.
beneath the conditioning and have the courage to be ourselves, to speak our true voice, to let your freak flag fly. I like to say in the Bible, it was a typo. It's not the meek shall inherit the earth, it's the freak, right? Jesus was a freak, Buddha was a freak, Mother
Yep.
Teresa, freak, Joan of Arc, freak, Gandhi, Mandela, Martin Luther King, all freaks.
Yep.
And so you're a freak. I mean, look at you with your red cheeks and all that. And I'm a freak, right? But that's what the people you love and admire and follow throughout history have all been freaks. They've all been
Mm,
original, authentic, not special or better.
mm,
Just for whatever reason, they chose to not go along to get along, to
mm,
not merely do status quo, but to
mhm,
discover what is unique. People didn't wait in line to buy an iPhone till, from all hours of the night. They
mhm,
waited in line to answer their own call, to think differently. And that was what they were buying. They were buying a zeitgeist. I want to
mm,
think different. I want to be original. Steve Jobs wasn't selling computers. Oprah wasn't selling a talk show. It was church. And she was
mm,
giving a sermon to live your best life. Even if you've been through abuse and a lot of things, you still can be authentically you. And
mm.
Harley Davidsons weren't selling motorcycles. They were selling tune in, tune out, drop in, drop acid, whatever it was. But they were selling be free. Get off the grid. You do not have to be under the thumb of the man.
Mm,
And that's what they were selling. And so each of us, our unique soul print, our unique life code, nobody else on the planet has that except
mm,
there is a universal connection. And so when we are willing to be ourselves and know ourselves and be ourselves and embed that in our work and in our world and in our relationships and in the way we speak and show up, we will be a homing beacon
mm,
for our ideal people, friends, partners, clients, and will be a signal in this very noisy world.
mm.
So that's why knowing ourselves, and that's really the first evolution, which is it starts with thinking for ourselves,
Mhm,
right? Because
mhm.
AI will think for us.
That's right.
And,
Mm,
and it's already doing it. As I was saying earlier at the top of the
mm,
call, we may talk about the cognitive decline of humanity.
mm,
They did studies now, students using AI, they're showing the cognition is just falling off a cliff.
mm, mm.
So we're losing our ability. Even social media did that. We are clicking and liking and scrolling, but not thinking.
Right.
And so we're getting because the algorithm knows how to hijack our limbic system and
Mhm,
our dopaminergic systems, and it gives us the reward without the work. And then it also taps into our feelings of rage. All of these are evolutionary energies, and it knows how to, like a puppet on a string, how to pull our strings.
mm,
So if we don't know ourselves enough to know what's our triggers, what's our shadows, what do we really value, what do we really care about, it's going to know that and it's going to use that.
mm,
And it's not like, I mean, there is some malicious part of it, but if we do know ourselves, if we have complete influence over ourselves, the more
mhm,
you are not influenced by the world because you know who you are and you're rooted inside, the less you can be influenced, the more influential you become over
ooh.
your
Oh,
own
that's a
life and
great
over everybody
soundbite.
else. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. The less you can be influenced, the more you become an influencer yourself.
Yes.
Right. Okay. This is brilliant. And it's so funny as I'm listening to you where you're one of your first, I think it's your first way is that AI will think for you. So the antidote, the solution is think
Think
for
for yourself.
yourself. And in one way in which we do that is to recognize, okay, is this really in alignment with who I am? Is this really my truth? Is this my
Yes.
body wisdom going, yay, let's go this way, or whatever the case might be, as opposed to just type, 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 prompt, prompt, prompt,
Yes.
copy, paste, and
Yes.
not even reviewing it, you know?
Exactly. And how do you even know if it's in alignment if you don't know yourself?
There
What
you
was
go.
it, what was it, Kafka who said something? I think it was something about if a man's inability to all problems can be stemmed to a man's inability to sit alone with himself in a room.
Yeah, that was the French philosopher.
Well,
Oh,
that wasn't Kafka. Okay, was it Derrida? No, not Derrida. Who was it?
somebody will
Anyways,
remember.
it
Pop in
was
the
a
chat if you remember who that is. Yeah, all man's troubles stem from his inability to sit alone in a
alone
room
with himself.
with himself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so obviously alone in a room, that would be
Yep.
redundant to say with himself. But
Yep.
um and so yeah, so knowing yourself is key. And like to go back to the analogy of the seed real quick, if a gardener or a farmer wants to grow a seed, what's the first thing they need to know?
The soil.
Know what the seed is.
Oh, of course.
It's like because otherwise it might be giving it water and it should be dry. They might be giving
Oh,
it food or sunlight and it needs
yeah.
shade. So the first thing the farmer has to know is what the seed is.
Hmm.
So it's not like, well, you can't start with, well, does this feel like a good idea for the seed or a bad idea? Well, I don't know what the seed is. How can I know what's good or bad or right or wrong or indifferent? And
Yep.
so, and this is again, this is why the Oracle of Delphi issued this warning. This is where the original mystery schools came from. This is why things like human design and these different models emerged. It was a
Mm.
drive. I need to know myself. I need to know what I'm made of and made for. I need to know what
Yes.
makes me tick. Because
Hmm.
if I can
Hmm.
understand this machine,
Hmm.
biological or spiritual or consciousness or otherwise, I can actually now provide the conditions or the right way to take the best care of it so that it can be optimized, so that it can flourish. And and the other thing is nature will never grow or support, it can never grow a seed or anything that is going against its nature,
Hmm. Hmm.
right?
Yeah, true.
Now we are in seeds are indigenous, we are endogenous, meaning we carry our own capacity, our own greenhouse with us, pretty much. We can create the conditions
Mm.
internally. Even if it's dark outside, we can activate the light inside. So we're
Yes.
endogenous and we can activate whatever we need. But if we don't know what the seed is, we don't know what we're creating. And again, because we have self-awareness or self-consciousness, or what I say in the first evolution, metacognition, we have the ability to think outside of conditions. We can develop an identity, which just goes back to the beginning of the talk, that isn't true about us.
Yes.
And in fact, we all do. From a core wound, a core lie,
Mm,
we build survival strategies, we build an
mhm,
identity and a map of reality. And the
mm,
problem is now we are cut off from life and cut off from support, and we're just in our own matrix trying to again make things happen. So
mm.
that's why getting to know yourself, think for yourself,
Yeah.
and then moving on to having the courage and the clarity to answer the question, how can I be true to myself?
Hmm.
When you put
Hmm.
those together, you now have integrity, structural
Yeah.
integrity. You are no longer a house divided against itself. You
Hmm.
now, and now life force and the energy moves through you, and it's many, many orders of magnitude more productive, more abundant, more creative, more inspired because you're no longer at odds with yourself.
Mm. Beautiful. Beautiful. I did look it up. It was Blaise Pascal.
Blaise Pascal, that's right.
Yeah. 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 That inability to sit in a room alone. Okay, so I love what you're saying. This is so good and so powerful. And I think earlier I was going to make this you were already doing it, but this correlation between the AI thinking for us and the social media algorithms thinking for us. Like
Yes.
so many people, I call it like asleep at the wheel of their own life. And like you and I are so on the same page when it comes to this use of AI, this use of tech. It's like I'm pro tech, always have been,
Yes.
but I'm more pro human, pro relationships, pro community, as you talked about, where the moat, I've heard this said
Yes.
by other leaders as well, like the AI, oh, AI is coming for your job. Press a button. AI can make all your social media content. AI can write books and music and videos, and it can do everything. And so, well, where's that going to leave me? And then
What's a
we're just
human for?
yeah, what are we for? We're just gonna sit on the beach and put our feet up and
Yeah,
drink
I
cocktails.
like to,
No,
tend to your garden. I like to say there's only so much giant squash and robot sex you can have until it starts to get a little boring.
sourdough bread. Remember during COVID, everyone was making sourdough
Sourdough
bread.
bread, yes. Get your starters.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 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 yeah. The Wall-E, Gloria, exactly. That
Yes.
movie. So you said you were going to talk about. So that's one of the main ones for sure. Is this AI will think for you, think for yourself, and that's easy to
Yes.
say in passing, but it's so much richer and deeper than that. I love your seed analogy, and you're growing, vegetables or trees or acorns or
Yes.
oak trees.
Well,
Um,
you said something else I think I can respond to,
yeah,
Mari, which is what you just said there about, this is right. This is kind of there. We are at a fork in the road, and it's going
yeah.
to get very clearer because there is one big camp and one big voice that says, master all these AI tools. You will become a master of the universe. You will be able to scale and a $1 trillion one person company full of AI agents and all of that. And you'll be able to get everything done. Now, when else did they tell us it's going to be the most productive, most optimizing thing? Anybody? Anybody? Right?
With
It's
the
gonna, it's
phone,
gonna, it's gonna help you do everything. And again,
computer
as
in
I
your
said,
pocket.
now we have smartphones and stupid people. And even a phone turned off near somebody lowers their cognition. This is proven now. What did they also say? They said social media, it's going to get us all connected. And now after social media, there is now scientific evidence. It is a deep and profound cause of the meaning crisis and the loneliness crisis and mental health issues with youth, especially, and suicide increase. So we have to be mindful. Buyer beware. It's
Mm.
very important. Again, I'm not anti-tech, but if we're going to now implement AI, which is no longer just an extension of us, it's literally designed as a replacement. then we have to, again, the good news, bad news. If we don't know ourselves, we will be replaced.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Yeah.
good news is, if we can know ourselves, because we're going to get replaced if we don't, we will have a new renaissance.
Wow.
So
So
that's the good news, destiny, divine design, whatever you believe. I believe it's
mm,
driven us to this moment where we have two choices: know yourself and truly become fulfill the potential of humanity at a whole new level, a new renaissance. That's what's trying to break through as the evolution of humanity, the second coming of the Buddha consciousness, the Christ consciousness, the truth that makes us free consciousness, which is not about a person, but about community and collective. Or take the Faustian bargain again and gain the world but lose your soul and find out on the other side you are now serving AI and you have become replaceable. And
mm,
this is, like I said, this has been this story has been told throughout history, from the Sorcerer's Apprentice to the Golem to the Icarus and the wax wings. Man's desire to get power, believing they'll finally have everything, only to discover they don't have the wisdom to control it. And
mm.
that's the situation we're in right now. How do we get the wisdom? We have to get wise. And the way we get wise is we got to get wise to ourselves, because the AI alignment, the alignment problem isn't with the AI, it's with the people.
Mm.
We're the ones not in alignment. And the AI is just a mirror. Mirror,
Yes.
mirror on the screen.
Yes.
Who the hell am I? And and then if you just ask that, the AI would say, "You're legendary, Derek. You're the best. Oh my God, you're amazing," because it's such a sycophant.
Exactly.
But so this is the power of this moment, is
Hmm.
we really, the people hearing this now, if you have ears to hear, you know you want to know yourself. You know you want to be yourself. You know you feel that urgency of emergence to express a mission, a vision, a difference, an impact, and you don't want to wait for that urgency of emergence to become another emergency. And this is the moment. This is, if you have any question why you've been studying and working so hard and learning and getting all this amazing knowledge of human design or whatever, what's it all been for? This is the moment it's been for, people.
Mm.
And it is for this that we have come. As the Chinese thing says, may you be born in interesting times. That's a curse, but nevertheless, it's the truth. We are born in interesting times.
Right.
So the first step is we have to know ourselves. Then we have to be willing to look at our life story and discover that encoded in your life story is already everything you need to know about your greatest
Mm.
life's work.
Hmm. Hmm.
About, it's like you've been being developed, and all the pain and the problems are actually part of your legendary purpose. It's all
Mm.
there, right?
Hmm.
And so, if you just know those couple of things, you're gonna become somebody and have a voice and have a vision and begin to do work and embed it with something that's real. Like, the only real gift we can give people is the gift of our presence.
Mm.
And when that presence is given to another, that's the one gift that keeps on giving. And it's the one gift that gives their presence back to them. And it's the one gift AI can never give.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
exactly.
this is the opportunity at hand right now.
Well, I love that. So a couple things real quick. So first of all, we still have time here, friends.
And I would love to hear, yeah, I'd love to hear from people
We're
what
going to
their
do
thoughts
some
are.
Q&A. If anybody has questions, you're welcome to come on camera or pop in the chat. What I'm going to do here, and don't get distracted, or you can if you want, if you're a multitasker, but I'm going to pop a link in here in the chat. And anybody watching the replay after this, I'll make sure you have this. This is basically to get what Derek called your life alignment score. It's the life alignment test. It's one of many free, totally free tests or quizzes or resources that you can access, and to start shifting your thinking, your perspective, getting more in alignment with who you truly are. And so I love this particular one. And you can see I didn't even make it a pretty link. Yes, it's an affiliate tracking link, friends. Full disclosure, there's nothing to buy there. You can do the free test and Derek will follow up with you and see if you wanted to do any more, training studies, get his book, all
Well,
those
most of
wonderful
it is
things.
just, I give away 98% of everything I do. So
Yes, you
most of it, it's
do.
just, you're going to get several free tools, starting with the life alignment, which will, again, if you're not in alignment, everything you do will off, many of the things you're doing are coming from that false self, creating more friction. It's like trying to drive your car with the emergency brake on, and
Mhm.
you end up burning out and burning rubber and taxing the engine. The minute, there's in chiropractic, misalignment is called a subluxation. That means sublight. That means the light is blocked. So when you get back into alignment, all your efforts, all of your life force, your energy, your intelligence now gets to flow through you. So that's true both from a physical standpoint, but it's obviously true from a mental, emotional standpoint. And so this helps you just discover in the core six dimensions where you're in alignment, where you're out of alignment, and how to get back quickly. And then that will take you to the next thing where you'll have an opportunity to get another tool that will help you discover what your life's work or your true life path is, as we've been talking about, based on your life story. And I walk you through this process. 5 minutes, you'll know. It's profound. I did it with my family the other day. I did these two first tests. We've never had a more interesting family dinner and a more inspiring family dinner. People are like, "Oh my God, what did you get? Oh my God, did you? Oh my, this all makes so much sense now. I get it." And it's very, very powerful, the insight. And I'm sure it'll affirm a lot of the stuff you're doing around human design as well. And then
I
there's
was
more
amazed.
stuff like that, live
I,
coaching and things.
I really loved the test. It was very eye-opening and revealing. I was amazed I got 100%.
Yeah.
I'm like so aligned,
That makes sense to me. But even if you get a super high score, you will still see where are the areas where you can bump it up even
I
more.
definitely saw areas. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was really nicely done. Yeah, yeah.
And
And
this is
then,
all about knowing ourselves, right? This is the
mhm,
first step,
yeah,
self-awareness. And then we can move on to the second step, which is how to future-proof ourselves and our life and our work and our wealth and our well-being so that we are no longer influenced by the world.
yeah, yeah. I love it. I know I have several of my human design fellow enthusiasts, professionals here in the room
Yes.
today. And one of the things, every time you say know yourself, it's actually the key existential question is who am I for myself? So
Yes.
that I can then know who I am for others is for all the
Yes.
generators and manifesting generators of the
I
world, which
think
is,
I'm a manifesting generator.
yeah, yeah. I need to look at your chart. That would make sense. It's two-thirds of the world, two-thirds of the world. And I was just skimming the chat there. And then you've got another 22%, 22 and a half is the projector types where they really know themselves through others. And so like
Right.
running the charts of all the people and their loved ones and their clients and, parents and whatnot in their life in circles and to just really see themselves reflected through others. So
Yes.
Gloria, manifesting projector. That's funny. I don't think there's such a thing. There's either a projector or a manifester or a manifesting generator. Um, Speaking of which, I wanted to touch on something earlier. You said the word like breaking through, of what is wanting to break through,
Yes.
and like now is the time. Many people might be familiar with the gene keys. I've chosen not to study gene keys because I'm so far down the rabbit hole of oh, my cursor keeps flashing things up. Stop jumping around. The AI. Talk about AI. I think the AI has gotten a hold of my cursor. No, it was the glass of water I spilled on it
Stop
yesterday.
them. Stop them quick.
um, let's see. So Richard Rudd is the creator of the Gene Keys, which many
Yes.
folks are familiar with. And I've watched many interviews of him in the last 6 months or so, Pam Gregory and whatnot. And he keeps calling 2026 the year of the closing door
Mm.
because um, as Ra Uruhu, the founder of the Human Design System, the information that he was given is on February 15, 2027 we complete a 412-year cycle and begin a new one. So when you were talking about like emerging and breaking through, and this is what's wanted to break through, I'm like, yes, yes, yes. This is the time we've been waiting for. I don't think there's been a more exciting time to be alive. Well, how would I know? I haven't been alive in all the other times, but
Right.
it's
Or
like,
maybe you have, you never
maybe
know.
I have. I know, right? We're all old souls, really. Rob would say that. Everybody's an old soul. So I
Yes.
just love the timing of you bringing out this beautiful piece of work and how it's not a how-to AI book. It's not anti-tech. It's not the
No.
sky is falling. It's like this is an incredibly optimistic positive time to lean into and become more human by first, like you talk about, Derek, really truly knowing yourself. Who am I? How do I think? How do I function? How do
Yeah.
I feel? How does my body make decisions? And
Yes.
so
And
I,
it's very
yeah.
practical too. It's a combination of a survival guide, a thrival guide, a manifesto, an invitation, a call, in terms of, yes, how to become irreplaceable, irreducible,
Mm.
unatomizable. Like, how do we really
Oh.
become undeniable and so good we can't be ignored,
Oh, I love
right?
your words. You're such a wordsmith. Unatomizable. And
Yes.
what's this endogenous? I've never heard that one before. Is that
Yeah.
for dog lovers?
That would be endogenous. No, you look it up. But yes, we are self-effulgent, all these things. So
Beautiful.
basically, it's this is the 10 evolutions we must make. So it's the 10
Mm.
ways. Now, not everybody has to make all of them, obviously, but it's also based on understanding, the my research and study of the greatest change makers throughout all of history. How did they do what they did? What was unique about them? And then studying them across all religions, all philosophies, all domains, there's a fundamental principles and practices, and what it really reveals is the human design, for lack of a better word, the human manual of how we are designed to thrive, to fully flower and flourish,
Yes.
and how we can be that no matter what, a lotus out of the mud, how we can be
Yes.
that there is a manual for this thing called life.
Yeah.
There are principles and practices that are not about just how to make more money, get more famous, get people to like you, win friends, and influence others. That is a byproduct, right?
Mm,
As
mm,
Jesus said, seek first the kingdom within, and all those things will be added unto you.
mm-hmm,
So all
mm-hmm,
you get all those good things, but there's a way we were actually designed to emerge, to
mm.
evolve, to unfold. And so that's what this is. But more importantly, it's specifically everything that used to be a nice to have, go to Esalen for a nice retreat, go to Omega Institute, you know, take a whatever. This is now going to be an essential for thriving in this brave new world. And
Mm.
so you're all positioned, and there's going to be literally billions of people scrambling and afraid and going, what do I do? What do I study in school? What do I go to work? How do I
Yeah.
get a job? How do I make a living? How do I heal? How do I help my kids? What am I here for? Who am I? Whatever. There's going to be
Yeah.
literally billions of people asking these questions. And anybody here that ever wants to be an author, teacher, coach, healer, creator, artist, leader, change maker, this will be the greatest single
Mm.
opportunity of your lifetime to step in and take all the work you've done now and actually live your destiny and
Mm.
become what we are meant to be as humans. So all of that is what this book is about. And again, it's all been unfolding to this moment. And it tends to be the case that it takes a crisis to crack us open,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
There are
that's right.
certain trees like the jack pine, it
Mm.
needs a forest fire. And that forest fire is so hot because its seed pods have this serotinous glue that will not melt except under a forest fire.
Wow.
And so the forest fire, it burns open the canopy, reveals more light, it burns away the detritus, fertilizes the soil, and it melts the seed pods open. And
Fascinating.
and that allows evolution. If those trees had self-consciousness and they're like, affirming there's never a fire in my forest. There's never a fire in my forest. And they see like vision boards with big burly firemen that are always waiting and they'll always put the fire out. Those trees would go extinct.
Wow.
So it's important to understand that even though this is an existential crisis,
Yeah.
that is the mechanism by which real evolution happens.
Mm,
And so
mm,
we have the opportunity now, because we're so much more informed, and people like in your community especially,
mm.
that this is the moment. This all your training is like, get in there, kid. This is the game you've been preparing for because the
Yes.
world needs your voices and
Oh,
your hearts now more than ever.
oh, beautifully said, Derek. I know we've got some questions here.
Sure.
One quick comment I want to make, and this is in the spirit of transparency and vulnerability. In the wee hours of this morning, I was having a dream, and I'm very good at remembering my dreams within the first 5 minutes of waking. And I don't know where this came from or what was happening, but I heard, and I don't normally like hear messages, but for some
Yeah.
reason today, I woke up, I don't know,
Be
5,
nice
6
to
a.m.
Derek.
That's
That
it.
wasn't
That
it?
was it. Be nice to Derek. No, and the words I heard were decode your life.
Mm,
Something along the lines of it's time to decode your life or you need to decode your life. And I'm like, oh yeah. And I just, oh yeah, decode my life. And I'm like, what the hell? Then fast forward a couple hours, I'm getting ready. I'm listening to you on your YouTube channel, getting ready. I thought, let me just get dialed into Derek's frequency some more here, put my makeup on. And you literally said the words in one of your videos, decode your life. I'm
yeah.
like, what? That was so
Yes.
cool. So cool. I love
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So now in full disclosure, the last time we met in person, I did slip a little nanobot into your drink so that
Was
it
that what it
that
was?
you've been uploaded. And so this morning I whispered, decode your life
Is that right?
into your
You
brain.
monkey. You monkey. Renee says she got
You gotta laugh,
114.
guys. If you're not
Yeah,
having fun, laughter and levity and fun
absolutely. Laughter and
is
levity.
laugh now or you'll definitely cry later. But and crying's fine
LOL.
too. I do a lot of that too.
You're funny, Derek. So Renee Barabo, beautiful, the practical shaman is here, and she says she got 114. Well, I will tell you, I got 111
Nice.
on my score, so I thought I was doing
Oh,
good at
that's cool. People
111.
could do it right now while we're waiting and tell
Yeah,
us what the
yeah,
scores
yeah.
are.
If you want to, friends, you're welcome
That's
to.
true, actually, guys. Go ahead, take the score while we're answering other questions.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it only takes 2 minutes. Yeah, and I see Maria here, beautiful. And Shilpa has been patiently waiting. Shilpa is a good friend of mine down in San Diego
Yes.
there, and she is brilliant with studying AI and all kinds of good stuff. So come on down, Shilpa. I'm going to add you to
And
the
I see somebody
spotlight
else
here.
asking a question. Maybe that's later about judgment.
Okay, sure.
Hey, is it Shilpa? Hi, Shilpa.
Hilpa, yeah. Oh my,
Oh,
Mari,
you
you're.
got one of my beloveds, Yogananda, in the back there. You even have the same kind of hair
I
and
know
stuff.
people always tell me that.
By the way, that's one of the I think that was one of the monasteries I stayed at, one of his, and I had a dream with him shortly after I came home from the monastery and decided I wasn't going to stay there. And in the dream, I was kneeling at his feet. I get choked up again thinking about it, and he put his hand on my head, and I just began to sob, and then I just dissolved into like crystalline energy and was just he's
I
he's
I feel
he's
I feel
serious,
it
that
like
dude.
I
Can you
feel the
feel it?
vibration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Mm.
well, okay, the timing of this could not be more impeccable.
Mm,
I haven't talked to Mari in a few months or weeks now, but I'm at the intersection of much of what you're saying. As Mari knows, I'm a meditation coach and my background is in AI and software engineering. I've
Mm.
lived this for the last 20 plus years
Yes.
and had um like an epiphany of sorts that I needed to make a shift. And it was almost like the universe was forcing me to do it.
Yes.
And I am in this space and been trying to figure it out. And Mari's been there helping me. Like, what do I do with these obscure skills like AI, software engineering, user experience, and meditation and being deeply spiritual? And I'm looking at this, and what's interesting is I'm in a simulation hypotheses class right now, talking about the simulation point, and much of what you're
Yeah.
saying mirrors what I'm learning. And
Yes.
then, of course, it mirrors also human design, which I love. So I wanted to jump out and say, well, is meditation the answer because that's what my heart tells me.
Yes. It's meditation. Um, yes, I mean meditation, absolutely. And because meditation is one of the original and most powerful human technologies for tapping into the entire super intelligence of the universe. That's what I mean when I said earlier, that was the original technology the great masters and nomads and wanderers of deserts and jungles discovered. If I just get quiet and get still and shut off the sensorium from the outer world, which is not showing me reality, it's just showing me a conditioned model of reality, and get still long enough. Again, there's this, I think this was Kafka, to he who is, I forget if it's he who can be silent or still long enough, all things are possible. But anyways, they discovered that initial most powerful technology, and all the greatest masters, teachers, whatever, it all boils down to that one technology. So that's the doorway into the programmers, the programmer's room, like in the Matrix, is through meditation. And and then of course you have to embody it. You have to take action on what comes through. That's the second piece. Faith without works is dead. And a lot of spiritual people, they end up using meditation as anesthetization. And so they end up using spirituality as a way to escape their pain and escape the world. And they were trauma. It's from early trauma. Now, the good news is the trauma gets them to dissociate and connect with the spiritual or the other world, but then they don't ever fully come back. So the key is to bring heaven on earth, God in a bod. That's the idea, the project we're up to right now. So as long so and again, not to take your cue from the world, but to take your cue from reality, to be an ambassador of the real world, an ambassador of heaven, an ambassador of the spiritual values, and then let that be what you speak and teach or lead with or embody. And that's something AI can't do, right? And then with AI, and I do talk about it in this book, I give every single evolution has AI instructions also, because when your focus is to know yourself and to be a better version of yourself, you can now use AI because AI is a master pattern recognizer. And so you can use AI now to know yourself better, to make sense of the jumble of things that you can't yet make sense of. And you can use AI to now become your reflector and your support, not in outsourcing yourself to AI. Here, write this article, poof. And it's just AI slop everywhere. But hey, here's what I'm thinking and feeling. Hey, I just had an argument with my wife. Tell me what to say so I can win the argument. No, I'm just kidding. That actually would work. But like, here's what she said. Here's what I said. But also here's what I'm feeling and thinking. And I'm not quite sure. And you're doing your own work also, but it will help you know. And over time, you will know yourself in depth and dimension like never before. And then you can say, and here's all the things I'm interested in, and here's the life I want to live, and da 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 da. And here's the difference I want to make. And now everything you know about me, help me to understand what is a way in my voice, in my knowledge, in my lived experience, how I can put that into a unique offering to the world. And so now what it's helping you do is from the inside out rather than, hey, AI, tell me what's a great way to make money, or hey, AI, tell me a great meditation. Well, it's completely status quo. It's going to be garbage. But so
Okay.
that's the way to use AI. And the more you are knowing yourself and meditating and tapping into that unique pattern of wisdom that only you can, now you can use AI to scale wisdom, to scale love. We can make love go viral. We can become super spreaders of love and wisdom and your authentic code. Does that make sense?
You validated the direction I've been in for the last 7 months. I created two AI apps around exactly the reflective tools. And
Yes.
I've been writing about this. It's almost as though like I needed to be here just today. Thank you, Mari, for hosting this. And
Oh,
Derek,
Thank you, my dear.
I will reach out because I would love you on my
Please do.
podcast.
Yes, please
Oh,
reach out.
yeah.
Please reach
You've been
out.
an awesome guest. Thank you
Oh,
so much.
thank you. You're welcome, my dear. It's
Thank you,
great to
Yes.
Mari.
meet
Oh,
you.
you're so welcome, Shilpa. And you're absolutely right. Derek would be great for your podcast. Shilpa's a wonderful host. I've been a guest on hers myself. Allah does have a great question here.
Yeah,
Beautiful Allah Shashkina. We have been in human design classes together, haven't we, Hala?
nice.
She says, I wonder what Derek thinks about human judgment. Among many things that AI won't be able to replace is human judgment. And then she's added a little add on there about what you think about AI in the
Coaching.
coaching world. So
Yeah.
maybe take those one at a time.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, we have to understand what AI is. AI is first and foremost a collection of all human knowledge, but it's not necessarily just all human good knowledge. It can be that they can build AIs that have just been trained on the very best, but right now it's trained on everything. And that's why a lot of its writing and a lot of its things are kind of cliche sometimes and status quo. It's getting better, but the difference is there's a difference between knowledge. Remember the whole axiom, knowledge is power? It's not true. It's knowledge isn't power until it becomes wisdom.
Mm.
And wisdom cannot be gotten just from knowledge.
Hmm.
Only knowledge that has been lived and tested and embodied becomes wisdom, right? Just like spiritual insight alone often isn't enough. You have to now do it, live it, and get it in your body. And that's why faith without works is dead. Knowledge without actual lived experience, as I like to say to my students, you get more information and even more inspiration, but you don't have the metabolization and integration, you end up with constipation. So you get stagnated, you get just filled with a bunch of stuff. So AI is knowledge, and it's got a great tool of pattern recognition, but wisdom can only be had through lived embodied experience, and that is what we are for. And so that's real human judgment, real discernment, right? AI isn't discerning. And the other thing is to understand, to have real judgment or discernment, you have to have a point of view. You have to have a
Mm.
value set. You
Yeah.
have to have, science. We think scientists and rationalists think it's all about matter, but it's not. There's matter and there's what matters.
Ooh.
Matter and what matters. And even every scientist, atheist, rationalist didn't get into science from a rational purpose. They got into science because of what mattered to them. It was a value. It was something non-scientific. And I'm not anti-science, let me be clear, very pro-science. But but it's what drives us is not logic, is not rationality. And in fact, the greatest, most valuable, most important things in our life were things that were not predictable, whereas science is all about creating models that are predictable.
Mm.
Again, you need both, the predictable and the unpredictable. You need to be able to build bridges that will stand, but you also need to have places to go, and you need the bridge. But if you don't have a place to go and a reason to go there that's bigger than just logic, you don't need any of it. So that's where judgment and discernment comes in, and that is uniquely human. And that's also why I say to people, even when you're using these tools, and even when you're using all the prompts I give you, and they're good, at the end of the day, you have to still make the final decision. You
Mm.
have to read through that and rewrite it, or
Mm.
it has to still land in you. It can't just be, ooh, that sounds so good, or I mean, the AI said it, it must be true. You have to still parse everything through you, because at the beginning and the end of the day, you want to reclaim your agency.
Yes.
And so that's what, we give away our agency and our authority since we're kids, to get love, to get security, to get a job, to get whatever. And then this is the ultimate tool that we have the danger of giving away our agency to. And
Mm.
so we have to reclaim our agency. So
Mm.
that's where wisdom and judgment and discernment is key to humans. In terms of coaching, um, there's going to be certain things like therapy. Already studies are out that show that I forget what the percentage is of humans right off the top of my head. They prefer AI therapists. They say they are more empathetic.
Wow.
And so that will happen with coaching too. And it's already happening, you know. And why is that? Well, because a lot of coaching and a lot of therapy is algorithmic. Okay. And that's not a bad thing. That's a fact. This is what we're discovering. Again, what are all the things that are algorithmic, programmatic, that a machine could do? That's going to all get replaced. And so it forces us to ask, what is it about me that's not algorithmic or programmatic? And we've been
Mm.
talking about these things today. If I'm going to still be a coach, and anybody could literally look up Derek Rydell's stuff or ask its AI, or even use one of the AIs. When you buy this book, which you can get it for free on Audible if you have a credit, and you go to my site, you're going to get these AI evolution coaches and that I've trained on this book and on my work. And you'll have me in your pocket 24/7. I'm giving it to you for free. It's cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars to develop all this knowledge and everything. But here's the thing. That's the thing that it can do. And there'll be a lot of value there. And we have to replace ourself first before we get replaced. But then that forces you to ask, what is it about me that it can't do? And
Mm.
that becomes your new moat. If you all know what that means in business sense, the moat is your differentiator. And if you don't ask that question, this has always been true. The businesses that don't creatively destroy themselves first, they get destroyed by the competition, by evolution, by progress. So, you know, Kodak invented the digital film, digital photography, and they're like, oh, let's not do anything with that. And then, you know, when's the last time you went and got your Kodak developed? It got taken out by digital photography. Same with Blockbuster and Netflix. Blockbuster is no more. And so you're going to be replaced. But if you are asking now, what is it about me that's irreplaceable? Not only are you not going to be replaced, you're going to be able to use the parts of you that are commodified to give value. You're going to be liberated from many of the things. The most joyful thing, the most alive place we as humans can be is when we're living from this part of us that is not algorithmic, this part of us that is life itself, inspiration itself. And again, that's where the Renaissance, the new Renaissance comes from. So it's all good news ultimately, but it just means we have to do some work. We have to do it now because it's happening very, very fast. And people will just choose an AI coach or an AI therapist unless somebody comes along and knows themselves enough to bring a unique added value. And all of us can do that. And again, humans also will need humans. And so the people that are the most authentic, the most human, the most discerning, the most intuitive, the most embodied, et cetera, they're going to become the new Prada, the new Prada, the new Gucci, the new, you know, what I call handcrafted humanity. I hope that helps, guys. That was a lot of words.
Thanks, Derek. Wow, I know. I love the way that you structure your sentences and the words that you use and the way that you explain. It's just really resonates with me and yeah, pleases my mind and my heart. Um, yeah, it's fascinating. You know, one last quick thing, and I know we've gone over our hour that we allocated. If anyone has any last minute questions for Derek, then we need to let him go in a minute here, and we'll tell you how
I
you
just got to
can.
double check. I forgot. I hope I didn't have, I do have another interview, but we still have time. Okay.
Okay, okay.
I totally lost track of time, which is a good sign.
Yeah, good, 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 good.
AI can never lose track of time. So
Yeah. So the founder of the human design system, a guy called Ra Uruhu, and he founded the knowledge, or it came to him in an 8-day mystical experience in 1987. He passed away in 2011, and his family run the business. The main Jovian archive and My Body Graph and My Mechanics, all the different official softwares, if you will. And the other week, Derek, I got to tell you, because they're all like gung ho about this, they call it AI Ra. They've created their own internal large language model based on millions of words that Ra said. And so I'm like, at first I was like, okay, I don't know if I want to take it for a trial run. But then they put this bundled out where you're going to get grandfathered into this annual raise, like $800. So I'm like, okay, take my money. And then at first, I'm asking it questions and AI, where you can even have it talk to you. It's raw talking to you with voice as well as text. I'm like, oh my God, mind blown, mind blown. This is phenomenal. This is going to make me a better analyst. And then I was poking around a little bit a few days later, and I was with a fellow analyst, and we were asking it some pretty in-depth questions on the deeper layers, and it kept getting things wrong. And I was pushing back on it. And I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. I was like, okay, stop the presses. Where people are like,
Yes.
oh, I can just get an AI, I can just get a reading, a human design reading. I don't need an analyst, I don't need, and I was like, how would I know that this thing was making mistakes if I
If you didn't know human design.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've spent years studying
Yes.
this and I'm a
Yes.
certified analyst. And I'm like,
Yes.
yeah,
That's a very astute question. And obviously we know that there's been a problem with AI hallucinations. It is getting better. It is getting better and better, and they're building in layers of self-checking and all that. But nevertheless, this is also why, you know, there used to be 50,000 songs uploaded to Spotify every day. Now it's probably 100,000, and it'll be at 10 million soon.
wow.
And so many books are being created that Amazon has now limited self-publishing to like 3 books per day or some crazy amount. So,
Gee,
but the problem is most people writing these songs, creating these books, putting out these chatbots, whatever, if they don't actually know the craft or the art or the
yes.
science or the design behind it, they don't know if what they're creating is crap.
Mm-hmm,
And that's
mm-hmm.
why a lot of it is. And so, if you are already a great coach, therapist, teacher, artist, human design expert, and you have expert domain expertise, that's a massive advantage because then, first of all, you can know if it's BSing you, and second of all, you can create and build things, and now you can use it to scale your real knowledge and your real craft and your real ability.
Yeah.
Whereas if we think it's just going to now open up and democratize, everybody can be a coach, a creator, a designer. Well, kind of, sort of, but it's all going to be a commodity and look terrible or just be white noise. So it still matters that you have expertise. It still matters that you develop your knowledge, your skills, your abilities, because those people with knowledge, skills, abilities, including, of course, the foundation of self-knowledge, plus AI, are going to be the ones that win. That
Yeah.
makes sense. So don't just skip education. Don't skip the workshops. Don't skip the knowledge base. First of all, know yourself, then build your domain specific knowledge and your talent and your craft. And AI can actually also help you learn some things. Obviously, do your homework, but then AI can help you scale. And it can ultimately help you do a lot of, again, like I said, I did the work of 4 people, maybe 5 because I include myself, uh, just with me and the AIs. And because I understand what I'm doing, I could do good quality work. But nevertheless, it saved me a team of people and a ton of money. I didn't want to do that, but I had to. But it saved my tail in this example.
Mm.
But that's the future, right? So, person who really knows their talent, their craft, their ability themselves, now they can use AI to make a mighty impact, a mighty income, and really make a big difference from an aligned and integral place.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Oh, this is so good. So good. I could listen to you all day. Well,
Mhm.
your book is available in audio too, is it? Is the audio
Yes, I did the
out?
audio.
You did the audio. You
Yes,
really reading it.
me really reading it.
I love it. People say they can't tell the difference with AI voices. I absolutely can. I started.
I didn't, I actually really read it like, like I poured my heart into it.
Yes, you did.
We
Yes, you
had a
did.
director there and everything, and they were making sure that because I said I want to read it with an energy like I'm really talking to somebody real and not, I didn't want it to be like so many books where it's like, introduction, build an arc, the flood is coming. There's always that English guy doing all the
Yes.
books, and I'm
Yep.
like, it's boring. So yeah, I
Yeah.
read it with my energy, hopefully.
Yeah. 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 Um,
And
Hold
again, when
on.
people get the book, they get those AI, they get the AI evolution coach, they get the AI focus coach. Oh, I think I see Sharon has a hand up. Did you want to?
Yeah, I love your AI coach. It's so good. I've been interacting with it. Okay, Sharon, can you make it brief? Because we only literally have a few moments.
Yeah, I got to
Very,
jump on another interview in a second.
I want is the coaching on discerning when something is AI and when it isn't. I'm better than I used to be. And I mean, a lot of what I do is use my eyes for
Yes.
recognizing things. And
Well, so you're asking how can you discern between AI? And and by the way, in the book, chapter 5, deep fakes will deceive you. Live by insight, not eyesight. And so that chapter will tell you how to do that. Because first of all, every one of these chapters is going to be a challenge or a problem you guys are experiencing or will, and how to solve it both by your own deepening and awakening and also by using AI. But insight, living by insight and not eyesight, that's the Jedi way. Trust the Force. You know, Luke had to put on goggles so he couldn't see. So it is developing intuition. It's developing body wisdom. That's one dimension. It's what they used to teach in the mystery schools because your eyes are deceiving you all the time anyways. Like this whole world is a liar long before AI came along and deep fakes. Everything is a deception. You're not seeing reality, you're seeing your belief about reality. You're seeing your story about reality. You're seeing a collective story about reality, but it ain't reality. And it's determining all kinds of cognitive biases. We don't see even what's right in front of us often because of our cognitive biases. So just we have to first accept we've been blind for a long time. We've all been the blind men and women with the elephant in the room, so to speak. So, but now it's even more urgent and in our face with fake video and audio and people being scammed and all of that. So without me going into all the details, I do specifically describe how we can begin to discern what's real and what's true. And there's fundamental practices. And the first one is just basically don't believe anything you see or hear. Because that if you just read an article or see a Instagram or see a TikTok or see a video and you want to start believing it, but you haven't researched whether it's real or true and what the real story is behind that person or that story, you will become part of the problem, not the solution. And that's what's happening. People are responding to headlines and fighting with each other without really knowing anything about the person. So that's already happening, and now it's going to happen orders of magnitude. So that's the first thing is don't believe anything, right? As Jesus said, having eyes you cannot see, having ears you cannot hear. That's the first step. And you'll be surprised at how little you really need to believe in anything out there to be free.
I was
Thanks,
just, I,
Derek.
I wish that you would do a rerun of today's because I have more questions I want to ask, and I don't think you have time
Was there
for.
another quick one, Mari? I got a couple minutes. If you want to, do you want to ask another quick one, Sharon? If there's time.
I was going to say it also the idea that we can't believe anything that we see. So if I did everything that my GPS has told me to do, I would have driven into trucks, driven off,
100%.
there
Yes.
is, um, Georgia O'Keeffe said that um, that people never see anything.
Yes.
And I actually, among other things, I'm a primitive artist. I
I
work with
saw that.
handheld tools. And my experience is that people, myself included, really never see anything until they try to draw it. So the idea of,
So is there, I know some time standpoint, is there the question, you're right, absolutely. That's why some of the drawing classes and teachers, they use art and drawing as a way to sharpen your ability to really become present and see. My wife's
Mhm.
entire artwork, you can't really see it because it's blurred.
Oh,
It's all about her seeing, going into nature and seeing. It's a practice for her, not just to make art, but to reconnect with nature and to really see. And what she discovers once she takes the picture and then builds the work of art is there's all these beings and all these dimensions. She can actually bring them forth into visibility. And it's become a practice for her and the people she helps to see. So you're absolutely right. The artist sees, and the artist teaches us how to see depths and dimensions that the average person doesn't see. That's why we love art so much. So I
I don't,
appreciate that you're doing
Thanks.
that.
well, since the pandemic, I've done things I guess we've all done things we didn't normally do. But
Yes.
my work, 90% of it was sitting on the ground wherever I was. And of course, I thought I was out there painting. I'm probably the most ungrounded person on the planet. So,
Well, Sharon, I love your way of thinking and seeing, and I hope you take that test and then you come join me in some of the other live
Yeah.
classes I'll be doing.
I
And
will.
I would love to continue to answer your questions and go deeper. And just want to be
Thanks.
mindful I have to be on another interview, and I know
Yep.
people have been here for a while. But thank you so
Thanks,
much, my
Derek.
dear, for sharing and keep up doing your beautiful work. I love Georgia O'Keeffe and I love artists. So we need more.
Thanks, Derek. Thanks, Sharon. And hold your book up again. I want people to know it's coming out in a few days. You can pre-order it. You can get it on physical, Kindle, audio, a whole new human. 10 ways we must evolve as humans to survive and thrive in the AI age. So the replay will be up for this. I've got it over on YouTube, and I'll go ahead and send out the replay and the transcript and the notes and all that good stuff. Remember to take your life alignment test and feel free to reach out to me and let me know what you got. Derek, you are absolutely the best. I just love you.
Mhm.
I so enjoy your
Likewise.
company. I enjoy all of our conversations. You
Likewise, my
stimulate
dear.
me to think broader, to expand my consciousness, and to just elevate who I'm being at the core. It brings tears to my
Mm.
eyes. So
Mm.
thank you for being you and for
Thank
your
you.
friendship
I
all
feel
these
the
years.
same about you. Thank you,
Thank you.
Mari. Thank you,
Awesome.
everybody. Much love.
Many blessings. Bye for now,
Blessings.
friends.